The studio lights of the Tyler Graham Show shone brightly on a sleek set, arranged like a modern forum for debate. Plush couches, polished desks, and an array of high-definition screens gave the studio an air of contemporary sophistication. It was prime time, and the energy was electric. Across the United States, millions of viewers tuned in, eager for the next installment of Tyler Graham's monologues. A mix of wit, commentary, and often controversial takes on current events. Tyler, a liberal talk show host known for his razor-sharp tongue and incisive commentary, was in his element. His co-hosts exchanged knowing glances and quiet smiles as they settled into their seats. The studio audience, a diverse group of politically engaged viewers, buzzed with anticipation. The camera's red recording light blinked insistently, a silent countdown to the moment when Tyler would take center stage. That night, as the opening credits rolled and the band played a jazzy number, Tyler's eyes glittered with mischief. He was ready to launch into one of his signature segments that had become the hallmark of his show. The topic tonight? None other than Elon Musk and his latest foray into the world of brain chips. The stage was set. A large modern desk, a backdrop of digital screens displaying dynamic graphics, and an enthusiastic audience waiting for Tyler's verbal onslaught. Tyler leaned back in his chair, fingers drumming against the polished wood as he surveyed the room with a smirk. His voice, dripping with both amusement and skepticism, filled the studio as he began. "Ladies and gentlemen," he intoned, "Elon Musk is at it again." His tone was light at first, mocking, even playful, as he gestured toward one of the screens behind him. This time, our favorite billionaire genius, if you can call him that, thinks he's going to revolutionize, wait for it, brain chips. Tyler leaned in conspiratorially, lowering his voice as if he were about to reveal a secret. "Now, I'm all for ambition," he said, "but at what point does ambition turn into straight-up delusion?" His eyes darted across the studio as the audience absorbed his words. "I mean, this is the guy who built a truck, yes, that truck, that couldn't even survive a rock thrown at its window. And now he's suggesting we implant microchips in our brain." A pre-recorded clip of Musk's Cybertruck shattering glass during a failed demonstration flashed on the screen behind him. The image, slowed down for dramatic effect, sent the audience into a frenzy of laughter and applause. Tyler continued, riding the wave of energy. Every few months, he comes up with some wild new idea, and the internet just eats it up. Underground tunnels. Great idea if you enjoy spending rush hours suffocating in a metal tube. Colonizing Mars. Sure, let me pack my bags and catch the next Spirit Airlines flight to hellscape. His comments were met with roaring laughter and claps. It wasn't just a monologue, it was a roast, and Tyler was in his element, delivering every barb with precision. But as the segment wore on, it became clear that Tyler's jabs were more than just jokes. They carried an undercurrent of challenge, a dare for Musk to defend his vision and prove that his innovations were more than the subject of ridicule. And while the studio audience reveled in the spectacle, little did they know that a response was brewing, one that would soon turn the tables in ways no one could have predicted. Within minutes of the live broadcast, the internet exploded with activity. Clips of Tyler Graham's monologue were clipped, captioned, and shared across Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. One video, titled "Tyler Graham Destroys Elon Musk's Brain Chip Idea," quickly went viral, racking up millions of views in a matter of hours. Memes flooded social media, photoshopped images of Elon Musk sporting tinfoil hats and satirical Neuralink ads promising instant genius for the price of your dignity. Viewers from all corners of the digital world began tagging Musk in their posts, demanding that the tech billionaire respond to Tyler's biting commentary. But for hours, Musk remained silent. His Twitter timeline was eerily empty on the subject. No one could quite understand the uncharacteristic radio silence from a man renowned for his rapid-fire online comebacks. Late-night talk show hosts and pundits seized upon the moment. In their segments, they speculated wildly about Musk's silence. Some argued that perhaps Musk was simply ignoring the mockery, refusing to give Tyler the attention he craved. Others suggested that maybe, just maybe, Musk was contemplating his next move carefully, planning a comeback that would leave the critics speechless. Tyler, meanwhile, took a victory lap on his show. "Well, folks," he quipped in a follow-up segment, "I guess Neuralink doesn't have a setting for wit, because our friend Elon is awfully quiet today. Somebody check his Wi-Fi, or maybe Twitter finally banned him." The audience roared, and the clip only added fuel to the fire of online mockery. But deep down, amidst the laughter and memes, there was a growing sense of anticipation. Those who knew Musk's style knew that silence was rarely an endpoint. It was the calm before a storm. Days passed, and the debate over Neuralink and Elon Musk's latest idea continued to swirl online. Tyler Graham's segment was dissected, parodied, and debated by tech enthusiasts, political commentators, and casual internet users alike. Meanwhile, Musk's silence only intensified the speculation. Was he mulling over a rebuttal? Was he embarrassed? Or was this part of a grander strategy? Within Musk's inner circle, the mood was one of controlled intensity. Rumors circulated among his supporters and employees that he was indeed plotting something big. His engineers and scientists, who had spent countless hours refining Neuralink's technology, were confident that the project was nearing a breakthrough, one that would silence the critics not with words, but with undeniable results. And then, on the fourth day after Tyler's scathing monologue, everything changed. At precisely noon, Elon Musk's Twitter account, which had been eerily quiet, erupted with a single enigmatic tweet. "Watch this." Two simple words, devoid of context, yet loaded with promise. The tweet was posted without any additional explanation, links, or hashtags. Within minutes, the internet went into overdrive. Speculation reached fever pitch. Forums buzzed with theories. Was this about Neuralink? A new Tesla update, or perhaps a groundbreaking project in another of Musk's ventures? Conspiracy theorists combed through his previous tweets and interviews, searching for clues. And then, just an hour later, the first video leak surfaced on Reddit. A grainy clip showing a paralyzed man operating a computer without touching a keyboard. The post's title read, "Neuralink Trial, Unedited Footage." At first, many dismissed the video as a hoax, a deepfake, or a staged demonstration meant to capitalize on the recent controversy. But then came a second leak, a high-definition version of the same experiment, this time verified by a reputable tech journalist. The video showed in clear detail a patient seated in a sterile lab. Wires and electrodes were connected to his scalp, and before the viewer's eyes, his thoughts seemed to control a computer interface. The patient played chess on a screen, each move deliberate and precise, and even more astonishing, he composed a sentence that appeared word for word on the monitor. "For the first time in years, I feel free." The internet fell silent, then erupted into a mix of astonishment and awe. What had been mocked just days before was now undeniable proof of innovation. Neuralink was no longer a far-fetched idea or the subject of a joke. It was real, and it was working. In the wake of the leaked footage, the narrative shifted rapidly. No longer was the story about Tyler Graham's witty monologue or Musk's initial silence. It was about the breakthrough itself. Elon Musk wasted no time in capitalizing on the moment. Late in the afternoon, he posted another tweet. "Let's talk 6 p.m. PT." The invitation was clear. Join me for a live stream. As the appointed hour approached, millions tuned in across various platforms. The live stream began with Musk sitting in a modest, unadorned room. No flashy backdrops, no dramatic lighting, just him, calm and composed, staring directly into the camera. His demeanor was relaxed, yet every word he spoke carried the weight of conviction. "I wasn't planning on saying anything," Musk began, his voice measured, "because I knew that eventually the results would speak for themselves. But since I've been invited to join the conversation, let's have it." With that, he played the full, unedited version of the Neuralink trial. The live stream was an unfiltered window into the laboratory experiment. Viewers watched in real time as the paralyzed patient, once dependent on others for even the simplest tasks, demonstrated an astonishing ability to control digital interfaces with his mind. The patient navigated menus, typed messages, and even moved a robotic arm with a precision that defied his previous limitations. At the climax of the demonstration, the patient's performance reached a crescendo. The camera zoomed in on the screen as the patient's thoughts materialized into text. "For the first time in years, I feel free." The words resonated with a profound simplicity that struck a chord in every viewer. In that moment, the countless memes, the sarcastic jabs, and the internet's mockery faded into insignificance. The breakthrough was transformative, and it was changing lives. Musk's live stream continued, but the focus of the world had shifted entirely. He explained the technology behind Neuralink with clarity and humility, addressing both its potential and the ethical considerations that came with it. He acknowledged that innovation was never without risks, but he emphasized that progress required taking bold leaps, even if those leaps occasionally sparked ridicule and controversy. "As a society," Musk said, "we can choose to laugh at the seemingly impossible, or we can choose to work together to make it a reality. I choose the latter." With that, he ended the live stream, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. A silence that soon gave way to a storm of reactions online and off. When Musk's live stream ended, the digital world was transformed. Hashtags such as Neuralink changes lives and Musk was right began trending across Twitter. The same platforms that had once echoed with laughter at Tyler Graham's jabs were now filled with praise for the breakthrough. Engineers, scientists, and even casual viewers admitted that Neuralink's demonstration was nothing short of revolutionary. For hours, news outlets scrambled to update their stories. Headlines like "Elon Musk's Neuralink breakthrough stuns the world" and "From mockery to miracles, Neuralink's life-changing moment" appeared on major networks and in prominent publications. The narrative that had once been driven by humor and derision was now dominated by awe and respect for the potential of science and technology to change lives. In the midst of this whirlwind, one person found himself in an unexpected spotlight: Tyler Graham. The very host whose earlier monologue had been the catalyst for so much online mockery was now facing a maelstrom of criticism. His social media feeds were flooded with messages calling him out for having mocked something that was now proving to be life-altering for countless people. Tweets piled up accusing him of hypocrisy, reminding him of an old interview in which he had professed support for technological innovations that aided people with disabilities. The irony was not lost on anyone. Tyler's team scrambled to formulate a response. That very evening, on a special segment of his show, Tyler addressed the backlash. "Well, folks," he began with a strained laugh, "it appears I may have jumped the gun on Neuralink. I admit that video was impressive, I won't lie, but rather than offering a full apology, I want to talk about the ethical questions this technology raises." His tone attempted to mix humility with defiance, but the message fell flat. The audience's applause was muted, and the internet remained unconvinced. The damage to his credibility was done. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's next move was swift and unambiguous. The day after Tyler's half-hearted apology, Musk's Twitter account lit up with a new announcement. "Let's change lives," read the tweet, accompanied by details of a groundbreaking initiative. Neuralink would be offered free of charge to the first 1,000 patients who qualified for the program. The announcement was simple, direct, and imbued with the promise of tangible impact. Within hours, hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and advocacy groups began contacting Neuralink. Families of paralyzed individuals, stroke victims, and patients suffering from neurodegenerative diseases saw in this initiative a beacon of hope that had long been missing. Social media exploded with supportive messages. Even those who had once mocked Musk now recognized the transformative potential of his work. The contrast was stark. While Tyler Graham's segment had become fodder for ridicule, Musk's breakthrough was saving lives and inspiring millions. The debate over Neuralink's potential, its ethical implications, and its impact on society continued for days. But one thing was clear: progress was unstoppable. In the weeks that followed, the entire narrative shifted from mockery to meaningful discourse about the future of technology and its role in improving human lives. Elon Musk's Neuralink had not only silenced its critics, but had also ignited a national conversation about the responsibilities of innovators. It wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a lifeline for those whose lives had been defined by limitations. Tech experts, ethicists, and medical professionals gathered for panel discussions, televised debates, and online forums. They examined Neuralink from every angle: its promise to restore mobility to the paralyzed, its potential to revolutionize how we interact with technology, and the ethical frameworks needed to ensure that such advancements were used responsibly. Musk, true to his enigmatic nature, participated in these discussions with a blend of candor and visionary insight. He acknowledged that while there were risks, progress demanded bold action, an action that sometimes meant facing ridicule before the world could see the light. Across the country, grassroots organizations that supported individuals with disabilities found themselves buoyed by the new initiative. Local news channels showcased stories of patients who had already begun to experience the transformative effects of Neuralink's early trials. In one small town, a man who had been confined to a wheelchair for years was seen taking tentative steps for the first time, guided by the technology that once belonged only in science fiction. For his family, it was nothing short of a miracle, a testament to the power of innovation when driven by empathy and a commitment to human betterment. At the same time, the controversy surrounding Tyler Graham's earlier comments continued to simmer. Social media users dissected his previous monologue, pointing out the disconnect between his words and the unfolding reality of Neuralink. Memes and hashtags like "Sorry Tyler" and "Innovation over insults" began trending. In interviews, several of Tyler's former supporters admitted that his stance had shifted, and some even expressed disappointment that he had not taken the opportunity to truly acknowledge his mistake. For Tyler, it was a painful lesson in humility, a reminder that the public's laughter can turn quickly when innovation changes the world in unexpected ways. Tyler's show eventually evolved, shifting its tone from unrestrained mockery to more nuanced discussions of technology, ethics, and the future. Yet the episode remained a turning point, a moment that marked the clash between cynicism and progress, between those who laughed at bold ideas and those who dared to build them. And in that clash, Elon Musk emerged, not only as a technological visionary, but as a quiet reminder that actions speak louder than words. As the Neuralink initiative took hold, its influence began to ripple through every corner of popular culture. Late-night shows, once quick to lampoon Musk's wild ideas, found themselves dedicating segments to exploring the real-life impact of the technology. Documentaries and feature stories highlighted individuals whose lives had been transformed, and university lectures examined the ethical challenges posed by such rapid advancements. In social media circles, the narrative evolved into a celebration of innovation and resilience. Artists, musicians, and even comedians began to incorporate Neuralink's story into their work, often as a call for empathy and understanding in a world that sometimes celebrated mockery over meaningful progress. Hashtags like Neuralink for Good and Brains Over Barbs spread across platforms, uniting people who saw in Musk's breakthrough not just the promise of futuristic technology, but the hope of a better, more inclusive tomorrow. Across the globe, news outlets that had once dismissed Neuralink as a gimmick now reported on its successes and challenges. International conferences on technology and ethics included sessions on brain-maker interfaces, and leading researchers lauded the potential for Neuralink to revolutionize medical care for millions of people worldwide. In academic journals, studies emerged discussing the social and ethical implications of such technology, further cementing its status as a turning point in modern science. For Elon Musk, these developments were both affirming and humbling. In interviews, he spoke not with the arrogance that had sometimes characterized his earlier statements, but with a measured optimism born of seeing lives changed by his work. Innovation, he said, is never without risk, but the alternative is complacency. I'm not here to prove a point, I'm here to push humanity forward. Back in the world of television and media, the fallout from Tyler Graham's monologue became a case study in personal and professional transformation. For Tyler, the journey from derision to reluctant self-reflection was not easy. As the internet continued to scrutinize his every word, he found himself forced to confront his own biases and the disconnect between his public persona and the evolving reality of innovation. In a series of follow-up interviews, Tyler admitted that he had been too quick to dismiss ideas that he didn't understand. "I was riding a wave of humor," he confessed in a candid moment, "but I've come to realize that sometimes the boldest ideas are the ones that change the world. I may have laughed too soon, and for that, I'm sorry." His apology, though measured, was seen as a step toward mending his reputation. Critics remained divided. Some saw it as a genuine moment of growth, while others viewed it as a calculated move to salvage his image. Regardless, the incident served as a turning point not just for him, but for the broader conversation about the role of media in shaping public perception. Tyler's experience also sparked introspection among other media personalities. Panels and discussions at media conferences address the dangers of mockery when it comes to groundbreaking innovation. A recurring theme emerged that true progress requires not just laughter and criticism, but a willingness to engage with new ideas, even those that seem absurd at first glance. For Tyler, the lesson was personal. Late at night, in quiet moments away from the cameras, he would replay the events in his mind, the laughter, the jeers, and ultimately the resounding silence that followed Musk's groundbreaking live stream. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a reminder that sometimes the weight of progress is too great for ridicule, and that behind every bold idea is the potential to change lives. As Neuralink continued its rollout and the public discourse shifted from mockery to meaningful debate, the world began to see the true potential of what Elon Musk and his team were building. For those suffering from paralysis and neurological disorders, the promise of Neuralink was no longer an abstract concept, it was a tangible, life-altering possibility. Hospitals and research centers across the nation reported an uptick in inquiries and applications from patients who had once resigned themselves to a life of limitations. Families found new hope in the possibility that their loved ones might one day regain a measure of independence. The story of that fateful segment on the Tyler Graham Show and the subsequent viral reaction became more than just entertainment, it became a catalyst for change. a reminder that progress is best measured not by the loudest laugh, but by the lives it touches and the barriers it breaks down. Social media channels, once dominated by snark and sarcasm, now hosted discussions on ethics, science, and the responsibility of innovators to use their platforms for good. Hashtags like Innovate for Good and Progress Not Mockery appeared alongside Neuralink's announcements, symbolizing a growing movement that placed human welfare above ideological squabbles. Community leaders and educators seized the moment as well. In classrooms and town hall meetings, the incident was used as a teachable moment, an example of how quick judgments can be harmful and how true innovation can come from the most unexpected sources. It wasn't just a story about a talk show host and a tech billionaire. It was about every person who had ever been dismissed or mocked for daring to dream big. It was about challenging assumptions, embracing diversity in thought, and recognizing that the greatest breakthroughs often come from those willing to take risks. And so, in a world that was gradually learning to look beyond appearances, the legacy of that day lived on. Elon Musk's Neuralink initiative was celebrated not only for its technological prowess, but for its potential to restore dignity and freedom to those who had long been forgotten by conventional medicine. Tyler Graham, for his part, eventually found a way to integrate his lessons into his work, using his platform to ask tougher questions about technology and ethics, rather than merely using humor as a shield. In the years that followed, the incident at the Tyler Graham Show became a watershed moment, a story retold in media courses, boardrooms, and even technology seminars. It was a reminder that progress, though often met with skepticism and ridicule, must be nurtured rather than belittled. Elon Musk's quiet determination, his ability to let his work speak for itself, had not only transformed Neuralink from a concept into a life-changing reality, but had also shifted the conversation around innovation itself. For those who had been touched by Neuralink's breakthrough, patients who could now move their limbs with the power of their thoughts, families who could once again see a glimmer of hope in the eyes of their loved ones, the story was more than just a headline. It was a promise that the future belonged to those who dared to build, to innovate, and to look beyond the surface. And for Tyler Graham, the experience was a reminder that the loudest voices in the room might not always be the ones that shape history. Sometimes it's the quiet, determined actions of a visionary that leave the most lasting impact. As the sun set on another day, casting long shadows over a world forever changed by bold ideas and unexpected acts of empathy, the message was clear. When we challenge our assumptions and embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we all stand to benefit. The story of that night, of mocking jabs transformed into groundbreaking innovation, became a call to action, urging each of us to listen, to learn, and to build a future where progress is measured not by our ability to laugh at new ideas, but by our commitment to making the world a better place. Thank you for reading this expanded retelling, a narrative that weaves together the biting wit of a liberal talk show host, the transformative innovation of Elon Musk, and the profound impact of technology on human lives. May this story inspire you to challenge your assumptions, support those who dare to dream big, and remember that sometimes the greatest change comes from the most unexpected places. If you found this story compelling, please like, comment, and subscribe for more narratives that delve into the intersections of humor, innovation, and the human spirit, because in the end, progress is built not on mockery, but on the bold, sometimes uncomfortable, steps toward a better future.